Welcome viewers. Our guest today is Mr. Tony Zabinsky, President of Fort St. John Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Tony, for joining us.
Thank you very much, Faisal. Thanks for having me here.
Welcome. So, talking about the Chamber of Commerce, the first Chamber of Commerce was established in France in 1599. Please tell our viewers what a Chamber of Commerce is.
Well, Faisal, as you know, the Chamber of Commerce has various services in the community. Not each Chamber of Commerce is similar in each community. Our advocacy is mainly to work with businesses, to help out businesses, to bring out problems or deal with problems that they might have in government issues or politics, or they might have issues in regards to public operations or problems that they might have operating their business. So our success is meaning to get those people to be advocacies where they can't get out there and be known. And so we are sort of their eyes, ears, and voices for them to go move forward for them.
Thank you. And who can join Chamber as a member, and how many members do you have in Fort St. John?
Right now, Faisal, anyone could join the Chamber of Commerce. You can join as an individual. You can join as a business. You don't have to sit down and actually be a business owner to join you can be a senior if you'd like to join the Chamber of Commerce. The logistics of joining the Chamber of Commerce comes down to is that what do you want to get out of it? We are there for you. Right now we have 370 plus members of the Chamber of Commerce. And again, they belong to the Chamber of Commerce for different reasons. Some of them want to sit down and work with the Chamber to sit down and make sure that the community their concerns for the community are being heard. Some of the other concerns why people want to join the Chamber of Commerce is that they want to be involved in the community. And this is a great avenue for them or their business to be involved in the community. And another reason is that they want to use it as a networking area. We do a lot of networking in the community. We put on a lot of different events where you could come out as your individual or even your staff to come out and come and network and see other businesses and learn other businesses in the community. It's not just all about yourself to be part of the Chamber of Commerce. It's to sit down and understand what is going on in your community and how we can help you to foster that network better.
Great, thank you. And what are some advantages of membership specifically for the business community?
First of all, networking, as I mentioned earlier, that's always very important in your business. Get to know who your competition is or other avenues that you can go into. We provide opportunities in regards to benefits. So the Chamber does have a benefit package that we do provide to our memberships. We classify small businesses 99 employees or less. So there are different benefit packages that you can take in regards to that. And that, again, comes down to what you need as a business and what you have right now as a business. So again, we have reps that will meet with you and go over your expectations and see if we can sit down and fulfill those gaps that you have for your business.
Great, thank you. And who supports and sponsors the Chamber activities?
Well, that's a great question. And our sponsors come from you, our members. We have no funding that comes whatsoever from outside other than our membership. We do some fundraising as any other group does in any other community, and we're no different than any other chamber in the Fort St. John or the region or in BC. We'll sit down and do magazines where we'll talk about our magazine that has come up. We'll do luncheons where you'll sit down and pay to come to our luncheons. We're right now just working on a function which Love Fort St. John, where we'll sit down and look after that and foster that. But for lack of better words, I'd say 99% of our funding comes directly from the members, and thank you very much.
So how is the Fort St. John Chamber of Commerce the voice of business in Fort St. John?
The Chamber is always asked to put its voice out there on behalf of businesses. And as we move forward, those requests come from different areas and different sectors. Right now, there's a lot of concern out there in regards to the oil and gas sector, as we would call it right now. And a lot of concerns moving forward. In our backyard, as you know, we have Site C. And again, as businesses reach out, they want to know what is the benefit of that and what's not. And like in any other community, it's always nice to have that sounding board. So I always feel that the Chamber of Commerce is a sounding board for a lot of different businesses to reach out to us. And again, they can reach out to us by numerous ways. They can reach out to us by phone. They can contact our office, contact Lily, our executive director, and reach out to our board members. We're more than glad to sit down and to answer any of those questions. Email, we have our news magazine that's put out there. So there's a lot of ways that they can reach out to, and we can reach out to our members and as well as a wider range of people to get those answers for you. So again, we're always sought after to be more of a sounding board, and we're not pro or against, but we're more there to get the information for our businesses.
Just like we have Fort St. John Chamber of Commerce, there is a BC Chamber of Commerce which represents 36,000 businesses at a provincial level. So how does our local chamber partner with the provincial chamber?
Virtually all Chamber of Commerce belong to the BC Chamber of Commerce. And in turn, they also belong to the Federal Chamber of Commerce. Just last month, we had our BC AGM down in Kelowna, and all Chamber of Commerce are represented down at that AGM. The main part that goes on there is the fostering of networking that goes on there, because again, as I mentioned earlier, what happens down in the Kootenays doesn't necessarily affect what happens in the Peace area or down on Vancouver Island area. But we all have our concerns, and we have to know what is a concern down in that area so that when we get together, that our concern isn't lost just because we're a small area. And I'm not saying we're a small area, but that every voice is heard evenly. And then what the provincial or BC Chamber of Commerce does is votes on different resolutions that come on, and if those resolutions are accepted, they'll take those to the provincial government and be the voice at the provincial government. And no different than at the federal level again. So there's always that line of communication that goes on, and at the same time, you got to make sure that those voices are being heard at the right levels of legislation.
Thank you. And what's entrepreneurial spirit, and how has it helped millions of people worldwide?
I'd have to say that I've been here for 20 years, and I've never seen more giving from our business people in this community. We are a group of people that like to get our hands dirty and chip in where we can and help out where we can. And you see it from all aspects, whether it's in regards to sports, recreation, senior housing. There are always those people that are there and they're passionate about it, and we're willing to sit down and work to make sure that happens. And that's great for our community, because without that, our community isn't a living livelihood of people that want to come here and stay here.
Good. And what support is provided by the provincial and federal governments to the chamber to boost entrepreneurial activities?
Well, the chamber, as you know, does not get direct funding from the government itself, provincially or federally. But what they do and help out is they do promote programs in the area. These programs are direct from the government ministries such as Small Business BC, Community Features, Northern Development Initiative Trust, to name a few. So virtually what they try to do is they try to sit down and create these forums so that they can cut the red tape for these businesses so that they can move forward in regards to their business futures that they want to look at.
Great, thank you. And please tell us about Chamber's annual publication, Fort St. John and Area Community Guide.
There's 12,000 that we put out there, magazines that we've put out. It's approximately 80 pages of colored glossy pictures. And that gets circulated in the region as well as in the north. And when I say it's circulated out, we put it in all the visitor tourism guides or programs that are out there. And we make sure that it goes out to the community. So we do a mail out in Fort St. John so that's put out there. And then, of course, we make sure that it gets handed out to the taxi cab drivers. It's out at the airport. Any place where you have people coming to our area, our tourism area, tourist booth, so that they have access to what's going on in the Peace region and, of course, promoting you, business owners, in the Fort St. John area.
Thank you. And 98% businesses in BC are small business. Please describe how small business is big business in BC.
Well, that's a great question, and that's a question I'm going to have to rely on some facts that I brought with me. So small business, which includes, I told you before, 99 employees or less, 93% of them are classified as small business. Very seldom do they get put up there. 74 of these businesses have less than 10 employees. 55% have less than 5 employees. So 77.8% new jobs are created by small business. So you can see that small business drive are the heart and soul of BC economy. And without that economy, you'd have a little disparity going on here. So it's thanks to small business owners across BC that sit down and create job creation, buy from one another. As a general rule, when small business owners promote small business owners. And when that happens, you start having an evolution of them growing and having their own. Again, that's where the chamber comes involved. We want them to sit down and know other business owners, how they can sit down and foster their business and work together to make their bottom line a better bottom line.
Thank you. And Fort St. John has been ranked as the best place to work in BC by the Business Magazine. What do we need to do further in present economic situation?
Well, we need to continue to sit down and support our business owners, as I put together with you. We have to make sure that we shop local. We buy local. I mean, if you don't do that locally, those business owners, those entrepreneurs that we talked earlier, aren't going to stay here. They came here because they wanted to make this region a better place to be. But that being said, they also had a vision that they had to make sure that their clients were up here. And as clients and as customers, we got to make sure that we support those people. And we're doing a good job of it. We have a lot of entrepreneurs up here, a lot of small businesses that are starting up in our area and in the region. But we have to remember that we have to focus on that. And when we talk about shop local, we should shop local. We should sit down and make sure that we're always having a level playing field. Back when we were talking about the BC Chamber of Commerce and that we just had our AGM, we were able, the Fort St. John Chamber of Commerce were able to get 2 resolutions passed there. One was about LNG, knowing LNG, being more environmentally friendly with LNG. And the other one was level the playing field. And this was very important to us, was leveling the playing field as well as the LNG part, because we want to make sure that our business owners are level with any other businesses that come in from outside of BC. And I'm not talking Alberta, I'm talking anywhere else. So that might be, and sometimes it's small things that those other businesses aren't aware of in regards to taxations or staffing or how, just certain things that happen. So we want to make sure that our businesses in this area have the same fair advantage than any other business has in the area. And so we were able to get that resolution move forward, and hopefully it'll move up to the provincial government, and they'll be able to sit down and make sure that that happens.
Thank you. And we also live in a globalized economy. So please tell us a little about the role of World Trade Organization in the 21st century.
Virtually what it is that they are our ears and eyes, and as I would say, they dot the I's and cross the T's to make sure that those nations have a level playing field amongst them, so that our businesses, when we go outside and want to do trading outside of Canada, that they've sat down and made sure that those level playing fields are in place, so that our business has the same level playing field. And I'm not saying it always happens, but it should be there, that if they're going outside our norm, what we would say our region, that it's there. So that's what the World Trade Organization in a nutshell does.
Thank you. And is the Chamber highlighting the importance of environmental sustainability to businesses from time to time?
Yes, that is definitely a mandate that we work on. We definitely believe that both in BC and as in Canada, environmental sustainability is very important, and probably as we move forward, you're going to see more and more pressure put on that. You can see right now with the Paris Accord and how much pressure is being put on there.
So some of the richest entrepreneurs like Bill Gates, they have set excellent examples of philanthropy. Please tell us about some contributions of chamber members in the local community.
There are so many in our local community, I'd be despaired to pick out one. I have to thank them all for what they've done. As I mentioned before, they have been the ones that have been able to sit down and keep this community going in regards to their contributions they've given. Whether it's through donations or the time and effort that they've been able to put through by themselves or getting their staff to do it, this community has been built on the backs of a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of giving, and it will continue to be that way because we are the group of people that like to get things done in this community.
Thank you, Tony. And finally, what do you think the Fort St. John Chamber can achieve for the business community in the next few years?
Boy, that's a great question. I would hope that the Chamber will grow its membership, being that they like what we're doing, that they like as an advocacy for business owners, that we can sit down and be their eyes and ears and a sounding board for them, and that they don't feel that they can't reach out to us and tell us what their concerns are. Not always are we going to be able to adapt to their concerns or be able to direct them in the right area. But I think if we have that open dialogue and that open communication, that will foster our community and our region to be at least a place where we understand our businesses and where we could sit down and make sure that they have a good level playing field for them to do business in our region.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your services for the business community, and we wish you all the best.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and again, thank you very much.